Top of the morning to you. It's a really great day today. There's no breeze. Could be a little breeze. It's just quieter and all the heck out. And I just had a nice waffle breakfast. Pardon me. I was going to show you this. I've come to the conclusion that Procter & Gamble is out to make my life a living hell. Here's the theory, at least my theory. Years ago, the missus bought one of these Swiffer mops. And for those of you who've never seen one, it's a little mop. Has these pads that come off, and there's a bottle that fits in here, and some batteries go in this little compartment right there. And originally, when she bought one of these, it was quite a few years ago, and I want to say the thing was blue. Could be wrong. Anyway, it lived a number of years, and I can't remember what happened to it. It quit working, or it got broke. I think it quit working. And what the deal is there's a little button right there. And you go about merrily about your way, cleaning the floor, spraying the cleaner, and cleaning the floor, and scrubbing and using those pads. At the time, it seemed like a pretty good idea. Well, like I said, she broke the original one, which I want to say was blue. It might have been green. It's been so long ago, I can't remember. She had it a long time. And she bought one of those when it first came out, and it lived a very long life for kind of an inexpensive, well, what I perceived as a reasonably inexpensive item. Anyway, they have since changed these things, and now they're purple. And the new versions of these, or the purple versions of these, are the biggest POS in human history. I think the only thing I've ever seen more poorly made was the Yugo. I have no idea what they were thinking when they redesigned this thing and cheapened it up. It is very fragile. It's very lightweight. I don't think the price went down any. And I've personally just broke one of these, destroyed it. I was using it, and I hit the edge of the washing machine, and this whole nose just shattered off of there. Now, granted, that may not be a design flaw, but it did cause me to have to run out close to closing time at the last second and get a new one to replace it, and B, I was banned from ever using the Swiffer mop ever again in the kitchen. She's had a number of other ones of these, and the battery compartments corrode. The majority of them quit pumping, and I've never taken one apart. Usually they end up in the trash so fast that I never get a chance to really look at them. Anyway, this one died the other day, and there was an explosion from the kitchen that looked a lot like an atomic bomb blast. There was a lot of heat came out of there, and there was a little mushroom cloud, and the missus was just madder than hell. Because this literally is at least the third one of these, or purple ones we've had. I believe it's the fourth. So, just for fun, I did some research on the internet, and I came up with 4 other of mops that are similar to this, but potentially better. And I can't remember the website I got these from. Basically what I did was I typed in Swiffer mop broken, and this was one of the first websites. It was a forum. I assume that most of these folks were making an assumption here. I didn't look at the names very carefully, but the majority of these people looked like they might be women. And they had the same problem. They said the battery compartment's corroded and that the mops broke and they wouldn't spray anymore. And that they had tried to get Procter & Gamble, I believe that's the manufacturer of this product, to replace them, and on and on and on. And that they all got fished into buying quite a few of these. And I didn't think about this at the time, but after I read this forum, I did. These things are about 20-25 bucks a crack. So basically, I've got almost $100 of my money wrapped up in these babies. I'm a little pissed about this. Anyway, one thing I did get out of the forum was that people had found other mops or floor cleaners that they liked. And I'm just going to list them in the order that I found them on the internet. And just give you a brief rundown, real brief. There was I believe it's pronounced Libman Freedom Mop, the O-Cedar Pro Mist, the Rubbermaid Reveal, and the last one was called the Enjoy. It's ENJO mop, and that's that last one is actually, I believe, Australian. So you might have a hard time finding one in the U.S. Although I believe I saw them on one of the auction websites whose name shall go nameless. Anyway, I started a little journey yesterday with the angry Mrs. in tow. And the first place I went, well, I looked online, and one of them that looked promising was the Rubbermaid, and they had a pretty good website, and they actually had a thing in there where you could list your zip code, and within I think 10-mile radius they would give you stores that had the thing. Well, one of the stores they listed was Target, and the missus shops at Target. She knows the store pretty well, and interestingly enough, my sister actually works at Target. And she swore up and down that they did not have the Rubbermaid floor cleaner up there. So I took her word for it. And one of the other stores that was listed was one of the hardware stores that I really like here in town. And just for fun, I had her in tow and we drove over there. And so I get in there, and of course I'm looking at the tools and everything but the mops, and we get over, they have a kind of the back wall is pretty much devoted to all their cleaning stuff, and they don't have any Rubbermaid stuff, which surprised me, but they've got all sorts of Libman stuff, and they've got, I think they had about every Libman item that they manufactured, and they had the that Libman Freedom Mop. It looked pretty promising. It didn't have batteries. It had a trigger up by the handle to pump the thing. The tank had a little door on it where you poured whatever liquid you wanted in there, and then it had a pad, but the pad was a kind of a microfiber type pad that you threw in the washing machine. And it seemed reasonably priced. It was comparable price to what I thought the Swiffer was. So we hummed and hawed about it, and just for fun, I decided to go to Walmart. And amazingly enough, I'll give them credit. They had every one of these mops listed. I have here. They had the Libman, the O-Cedar, and the Rubbermaid. They did not have the Enjoy mop. Probably because it's an Australian product. So we ended up buying This is the Rubbermaid. It has a canister you can take out. The sprayer is up on the mop, like the Swiffer has a tube that sprays down. It sprays wider than the Swiffer. There is a little scratchy pad that actually comes off of the thing, and the cleaning pad is kind of this soft microfiber thing, and you can get extra ones. And interestingly enough, it has a little hanging tab. And in the store anyway, it was $5 more than the other two mops, the O-Cedar and the Libman. The O-Cedar, I didn't dislike it. It just didn't trip my trigger. The Libman they had there at Walmart actually had an extra cleaning pad as a promotional item, and I think it had some cleaning solution as a promotional item, which the hardware store didn't. All of these have kind of the trigger instead of a battery. And all of them have a canister you can take off and put your own cleaning solution in there. The Libman did make a cleaning solution, and I believe the O-Cedar may have had a cleaning solution, or at least it had a thing for hardwood floors. The O-Cedar was a little interesting because it had a number of different pads, and one of the sets of pads it had, I believe there were 10 of them, and they were disposable, so you could use a cloth pad that you throw in the washing machine. All these you throw in the washing machine or the dishwasher. I've heard people do that too. I might be up for that. And the other ones were disposable. Basically, this has a kind of a molded hook type system. I don't remember which. Pardon me. I'll edit that out later. Either the Libman or the O-Cedar had hooks on the bottom, but it also had little pockets right here. And right in the corners, there was a little catch you could push. You would like bend the pad over and push it in there, and it would dig into it and catch it, which is kind of interesting, dual purpose. We bought the Rubbermaid because it looked heavier build, and at the time, according to the price tags there, it was $5 more than the other two, and they actually had they had the Swiffer mixed in there with the rest of them. And when we get up to the counter and paid for it, it wasn't $5 more. It was about all these were about $20, and all the pads up there were about $6 to $7. Unfortunately, the hardware store's pads were about $10, which kind of surprised me. But they're a smaller chain, so they can't make a living off of selling $5 cleaning pads. Anyway, one of the things I like about this mop is it seems to be better built. This bottle comes out, and you can just fill it with a cleaning solution, and it's got a little O-ring and a valve, and there's actually an inlet valve right there. This bottle is kind of somewhat rubbery. Has a handy "don't drink" warning on there. I assume that's "don't drink" in Spanish, since ni pas, I don't know. I don't read Spanish, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. And that just basically kind of snaps in there. To put that thing together, it came in the package. It was a part right there, and it just snaps together. And the instructions claim you can wash these pads 100 times. One of the other brands said 50. I believe it might have been the Libman, said 50 times. As you can see, that pad is it's reasonably bigger, and I don't know, about the same width. I don't know, I kind of like the thing because you don't have to run out and buy that cleaning solution. You can use, you know, whatever you want. The instructions did say something about if you want to store it long term, to go ahead and flush it out with clear water and pump it 5 times, which you can't do to the Swiffer. You're locked into that bottle. I did, for lack of a better word, hack one of those bottles one time and break the lid so I could unscrew it and put what we wanted in there, but that hasn't led to the demise of it. What I really think happens is that cleaning solution, no matter what it is, sits in there, and I think it destroys that pump and stuff. I was thinking real hard about taking that thing apart and peeking inside there. I may do that. If I do, I'll make a video of that. And I don't know, the thing seemed better built, and I don't know, seemed like a pretty good deal. So anyway, I'll let you guys decide. You can, again, there's 4 different ones, no particular order. There was the Rubbermaid, which I've got here, the Enjoy, which is, I believe, a Australian product. It was Cedar, and the Libman, and they're all pretty similar. They have a little bit different features. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. So there you go. That's my theory of why Procter & Gamble's trying to make my life a living hell by making my by making the missus unhappy, and then I get to hear about it and deal with the problem. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's useful on there that I can describe. I didn't. This thing has a kind of a scouring pad on the front, but I didn't see any extra scouring pads. I bet anything that I'll bet any scouring pad that's kind of like those Scotch-Brite things that had a back that's kind of a felt back would work. I don't know, the missus really liked the thing. She said she got the floor done in half the time, and she said she felt the floor was a lot cleaner. I know for a fact I've seen her throw away a couple of these because the middles get bent or something, and they don't clean in the middle, and so it leaves a kind of a racing stripe of dirt down the middle of the floor. I guess one of the other things I like is you don't got to go out and buy these things. These things are not cheap, you know. A box of them doesn't last a terrible long time. And she bought an extra pad, and we were just gonna, you know, take turns throwing it in the washing machine. And to me, it seems like anytime you buy an extra something, you know, extra pad, then neither one of them ever wear out for some reason. It's a conspiracy. The minute you don't buy an extra pad, then they discontinue the product, and you're left with a product that's useless because you can't find a replacement part. I don't know, I thought the thing was pretty well built. It seemed pretty well thought out. I don't know. I tried online to find any information about, you know, I guess filing a complaint or a claim, and it didn't sound like Procter & Gamble was too hip on doing anything about it. I may not have looked in the correct place, though. And I really wonder what it cost them to build those. One thing I didn't look at is where these were built. I don't know. I assume they're made overseas or in Mexico. I'd be really surprised if any of those were made in the U.S. I could be wrong. I did not look. So there you go. Save yourself that grief. Buy something that at least is designed a little heavy duty, If I think anything else, I'll add it to this video. But I can't think of anything else right off the bat. If you have a question or a comment or want to complain about how crummy your Swiffer product is, you know, they've got a good shtick on their advertising. They make it sound like they're the only game in town. Well, guess what, guys? You're not. That's one thing that's great about this country, is anytime you have a good idea, somebody might come along and improve it. I would definitely say this is an improvement. There's actually a tag underneath there, and oh, it's got the well, at least this thing is made in China. No bleach or fabric softener. Wash with light colors, which is red, and tumble dry, low heat. So I'll give them credit. They even thought about how to give washing instructions on the thing. It's pretty nicely made. I mean, it seems pretty decent. And it just snaps on there. Or hooks on there. Well, I think we'll let you go. Like I said, if you have a question or a comment, feel free to leave them. Thanks for taking the time to watch this.